Today, March 19th, 2024, Hyundai and Genesis have issued recalls for most of their EVs in the United States. This includes Ioniq 5, Ioniq 6, Genesis GV60, electrified GV70, as well as electrified G80. Beyond just this recall, they have also issued a stop sale. So if you were hoping to buy one of these cars right now, you're gonna have to wait until they get fixed. But yeah, here in this recall, it says, as required by federal law, dealers must not deliver new vehicles for sale or for lease to customers until all open recalls have been performed. Now, this is a full-blown recall. This is not like the previous ICCU software update that was released in July of 2023. This is a full recall, meaning your car will be covered well into the future for this issue. If you go out of warranty, it doesn't matter. They still have to repair the car. So this is all in regard to the Intelligent Charging Control Unit, or ICCU, which has been plaguing owners of these cars for over a year now, and it's finally gotten to a point where they say it's bad enough that they have to issue a full recall. Now, I do have a copy of the TSB here that I'm going to show you guys, but it doesn't really go into detail about what the software update is actually doing. So this recall isn't all that much different than the software update TSB that was released last summer. And it's basically looking for the same DTC. If you bring your car in, they're basically going to be looking for a trouble code in the car's computer that says there's an issue with the ICCU. And if they find that trouble code, then they are going to replace the ICCU and the fuse if it is blown. But if you were able to drive your car to the dealership, then it's likely that the fuse has not blown. If that trouble code doesn't exist on the car's computer, then they're simply going to install a software update onto the car. So people who got the update done last summer have still been experiencing failing ICCUs since that was installed on their vehicles. So that clearly didn't fix the problem. Now here in 2024, they're issuing another software update, and God only knows if this is actually going to solve the problem. So I'll just read the description of the recall to you. Vehicles may have a condition where low 12-volt auxiliary battery charging occurs due to an ICCU fault and may set the following DTC, and that is DC to DC converter input voltage sensor fault. When a fault occurs, the vehicle may enter a reduced power mode while various warning lights and audible chime will sound, and large messaging in the vehicle's instrument cluster will appear and instruct the driver to stop the vehicle. So those of you who have experienced the failed ICCU know that feeling. The car is going to severely diminish power. It's going to tell you to get to the side of the road and turn the vehicle off. And then there will also be a fuse that blows that will make a big, loud popping sound. I do have some insider information with an explanation of what exactly happened with the ICCUs. So I will just read that to you. So the early stages of failure were related to coolant leaking in the space where the board and the MOSFETs are. This has been addressed. Apparently the software was inadequate to keep the coolant pump running in cold weather conditions, and this eventually leads to the board and the MOSFETs frying. Apparently this has been resolved with the software update last year. I guess some of the internal findings have proven that the charge port overheating is potentially one of the causes for the frying of the boards in the ICCU. So that's all I have, but that's some more information in regard to why the ICCU is failing. So something of note here is that the part number that they're telling the service department to replace is the exact same as the part number from July of last year. So the ICCU has not had a change since that previous software update was issued. So putting the exact same unit in could result in a similar problem in the future, but maybe the software associated with it will change that. Now, what's kind of unknown is if you have a normally operating vehicle, is this trouble code going to show up, or is it only showing up when you can already tell that there's something seriously wrong with the vehicle? Doesn't really tell you here in this recall. But if the ICCU is on its way out, I would hope that it's going to pull up a code. So if you need the ICCU in your car replaced, it's not a super involved process. They got to pull the seats out of the back of the car, but it's right below the seats. It's like 4 bolts, some electrical connections, and then the coolant line that has to get drained and refilled. So it's probably a maybe several hour task, but probably not more than that. Now, I'm sure the service centers at dealerships are going to put the cars that are on their lots as top priority to get these recalls fixed, because selling cars is one of their main sources of income. That might push us owners out a little bit further, but it does mean that the service technicians will get some practice on the cars on the lot, which is always a good thing. So I have been told from somebody in Canada that was going to pick up their Ioniq 5 this week that there is a stop sale there as well. And this is all kind of following a news story from last week about Hyundai and Kia recalling pretty much all of their modern EVs due to this issue. In Korea, I think it's at 170,000 total vehicles just there. So there's a lot of these cars around the world. Now, in the description of this video, I will leave a link to Hyundai's website where you can check the VIN of your car to see if the recall applies to you. I don't really know if there's much point in doing so because it's likely that if you own an Ioniq 5 or Ioniq 6 or any of these other cars in the United States, then you are going to get this recall. Now, how do you make an appointment? Well, obviously you can call a dealership and say, I need to get recall 257 installed on my vehicle. You can go to the My Hyundai website or the Blue Link app on your phone. I'm not sure what the Genesis app is called, but you can go in there and you can schedule service. There should be a big red banner that says active recall. You can check the box there and just schedule an appointment. I've got mine scheduled for April 2nd, so a couple weeks from now, I will go in and get this taken care of. In the meantime, I really hope my ICCU doesn't blow. Now, all of you Kia EV6 owners out there, expect the exact same thing to happen to you in the near future as well, because both those cars use the exact same components that Hyundai does. Obviously, I will let all of you know when the Kia recall begins, and you guys can all go out and schedule your appointments. They will also be sending letters to owners of these cars that might not watch my videos and would have no other way of knowing. So at the very least, you can be one of the first people to get the fix installed before all the people who don't watch YouTube have to make their appointments. So anyway, guys, I hope this news is a relief to you, that there might be hope on the horizon to kind of stop this issue from proliferating any more than it already has. A bunch of these cars have been considered lemons. Some have been bought back by Hyundai and Genesis. So it's just something that really needs to get fixed. And hopefully with the 2025 Ioniq 5 coming out and potentially having the Tesla charging port on the car, hopefully there's a new ICCU that will kind of eliminate this issue going into the future. So I'll leave a link down in the description to a copy of this TSB if you want to take a look at it. But go ahead, make those appointments, get your cars fixed. So I've got a new item in my store. It's this little Ioniq 5 shaped sticker for $3 with free shipping in the United States and $1.20 if you're outside of the United States. I learned Adobe Illustrator and designed this. I've got other stickers planned for other cars from Hyundai, Kia, Genesis in the future. So be sure to check this out at ioniqguy.com if you're interested. These are laminated, so if you want to put them outside on your car or something, you can do that. But anyway, guys, if you liked today's video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already done so, check out my store for the sticker and other cool accessories, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody.